Chiefs, sheriffs, ladies, gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's a great pleasure, honor, and a privilege to introduce and welcome our keynote speaker today, Chief Robert J. Shelide. Chief Shelide will complete his 32nd year in law enforcement in January of 2019. Spanning a career that began with the Detroit Police Department in 1987. He was at Detroit Police 7th Precinct and assigned to Mack Avenue there, remained there until 1994, upon being hired by the Southfield Police Department, whereby he spent the next 21 years honing his skills and climbing the ranks. Between 1995 and 2004, then Detective Shelide investigated cases involving sex crimes against children, crimes against children involving children, and he promoted through the ranks, attaining the rank of lieutenant. He was then appointed acting deputy chief in June of 2013 and assumed command of the department's patrol division. Robert was formally promoted to deputy chief in June of 2014, a position he held until his retirement in January of 2015. On January 12, 2015, Robert Shelide was hired by the Charter Township of Shelby as the chief of police. In January 2018, he was selected by his peers to serve as president of the Southeast Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police. In June of 2018, the Transportation Improvement Association Board of Directors voted and approved Chief Shelide as a new Traffic Investigation Association board member. Chief Shelide has a bachelor's degree in community development from Central Michigan University with a concentration in public administration and has a graduate certificate in achievement in criminal justice from the University of Virginia. Chief Shelide is also a graduate of Northwestern School of Staff and Command, Session 285, and the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, Session 253. So without further ado, please join me in a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Chief Robert J. Shelide of the Shelby Township Police Department.
Ray, thank you for the kind introduction. President Sawyer, thank you for your continuing support of the Police Academy and the Criminal Justice Program at Macomb. As Ray stated, my name is Robert Shelide, and I am the Chief of Police for Shelby Township. I am honored to stand here today and address the Macomb Police Academy graduating class 104. I would like to extend a special welcome to family and friends of the graduates. Thank you for supporting these fine men and women who have achieved a milestone in their young lives. As our 40th President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, stated, life begins when you decide to serve. Being a police officer or deputy sheriff is a vocation, a calling, if you will. In fact, I think our profession to be one of the most noble on earth. However, our profession is not for everyone. This career can consume you if you allow it. If you keep your balance in family, faith, and friends, community, you will prevail. If done right, it can be rewarding in ways that will astonish you. Keep your friends that you had pre-law enforcement. When my assistant learned that I would be delivering this keynote address, she said, "That is great. You could tell them how to become chief or the track to become chief." I told her, I don't want to do that. The reality is that most officers do not become chief. However, I have picked up some wisdom along my 32-year path that I would like to share with the graduates. In regards to your education, I know that several of you have bachelor's degrees in place. Several of you don't. Get your degrees now while you are young. Please do not procrastinate on this. Usually, a class or two a semester will do the trick. As you get older and start to advance your career, a degree will unlock doors for you. I was first promoted to sergeant in 2004, and I didn't yet have my degree. Here I was in a position of formal leadership and leading people that had degrees, and I did not. This weighed on me, and I did something about it. Please do not wait. Do it now. If you have your bachelor's, then I highly recommend you start pursuing your master's. When you go for promotion, it will separate you from your peers. Education should be continuing. Always look to learn and better yourself. The fact that you're here today tells me something about you and your character. Don't stop now. Find a niche. The great thing about our profession is that there are many different avenues for you to take. Depending on the size of your agency, there are tactical SWAT teams, canine handlers, evidence technicians, detectives, narcotics investigators, accident investigators, crime prevention and community policing officers, the honor guard. The list goes on and on. Find something that you have an interest in or a passion for and work towards making yourself first proficient and then great at what you do. Not everyone is qualified to be a SWAT officer. Not everyone has the temperament or the demeanor to be a school resource officer. Match your strength with your interest. One of my coworkers and friend turned me on to a leadership guru by the name of John Maxwell. I am a follower of Mr. Maxwell. Mr. Maxwell says, do not work on your weaknesses. His theory is that you can really only improve yourself by 1 or 2 points in any category. For example, let's say that you're a 4 or 5 in basketball and you want to be a professional basketball player. Well, ultimately, you're going to only be able to get yourself up to a 6 or 7. The last I checked, 60% is failing and 70% is a D-. However, let's say that you have a skill such as public speaking and you're very good at it. Maybe you're a 7 or 8 walking in the door and you work to improve your skills and now you're at a 9 or 10. Well, people pay for 9s and 10s. The lesson here is to identify what you're good at and work at making yourself great at it. Do not waste time on your weaknesses. Your reputation is very important in law enforcement. Let me tell you that in our profession, everyone knows someone. Your reputation has already started to form while you were in the police academy, and you probably don't even know it. Carry yourself in a manner at all times where you're cognizant of your reputation. Some of this can be basic. Be respectful to your superiors, always, and even if they aren't your favorite. Always, always say hello to coworkers when you encounter them. This sounds simple, eh? You will be surprised as you move forward, as this one simple act of saying hello to your coworkers is many times ignored. But trust me when I tell you, it is always noted. Keep your appearance professional and neat at all times while in our sacred uniform. Be respectful and kind to others that you encounter. Always, always respect the job first and foremost over everything. We all hear that family comes first, and that is true to a degree, but keep this in mind. In most cases, there is no family without gainful employment. When I was hired as chief of Shelby Township Police Department, I was approached by an officer on my first day. He said, "Chief, we did some checking on you. We went back as far as the Detroit days back in the 1980s and checked with several of your coworkers in Southfield. We couldn't find anyone to say a bad word about you. My reputation, that is, followed me. Let me tell you definitively that I have had a relatively smooth transition coming over from Southfield to Shelby Township, and that was paved by my reputation of my first 28 years on the job. Wherever you go, there you are, as my mother always taught me. The reality is that you are never as good as they say you are, and the same is true for the opposite. You are never as bad as they say you are. They're going to talk about you. Trust me on this. You control your own destiny, no one but you. Strive for that positive reputation when you are young, and it will follow you the rest of your career. Your job title will change over the years. For many of you, your rank will change, even possibly many times. For the females in the audience, many of your surnames will change. However, your reputation will never change. Take care of your body and your finances. Police officers who look fit and trim in their uniform are an impressive sight, and you all look impressive here today. As with anything, fitness takes work and discipline. Fitness is not just for the police academy, it's for a lifetime. Keep out of the fast food restaurants. In regards to your finances, pay yourself first. Take advantage of and maximize your contributions to your agency's financial offering as soon as you can. Keep out of debt and live within your means. Emmitt Smith is in the NFL Hall of Fame. He is also the all-time career rushing leader in the NFL. He had a coach in high school that taught him about goal setting. When he was in high school, he had a dream that he would become the NFL's all-time rushing leader. He wrote it down on paper, and that dream became a goal. His dream became a reality because he turned it into a goal and put it on paper. I believe one of the most important keys to success is goal setting. Several years ago, I was watching a 60-minute episode with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was talking about the power of goal setting. I paid close attention to the story, and I was fascinated. He talked about setting monster-sized goals, putting them on paper, and then starting to work to pursue them. We all have dreams, but when we put them on paper, they become a goal. This is where will and determination come into play. Work hard to achieve your goals. Don't let someone defeat you by telling you you will never be a sergeant. I can affirmatively tell you that I stand here today because of my interest in goal setting. The first goal I wrote down was getting promoted to sergeant, then complete my bachelor's degree. I developed short-term goals and long-term goals. Attend the FBI National Academy became a goal of mine as a young sergeant. Over a 9-year period, I ended up submitting 4 letters of interest to attend the FBI National Academy. Eventually, I was selected over several veteran lieutenants. My determination had everything to do with me finally being accepted into the FBI National Academy. Ultimately, making chief of police went onto that piece of paper as a goal. Establish goals. Write them down, and do what it takes to achieve them. Work hard and accomplish them. Let your will and determination take you to a better place in life. Lastly, our profession is sacred. You now work for God. You are part of something grander than yourselves. Always, always respect your shield, your department, and our profession. Your badges and your patches have your department's name on them. Your name tag has your family surname on it. Don't do anything to embarrass either. You are now part of the thin blue line. May God bless and be with each of you as you embark on your journey. Thank you and Merry Christmas.